国際機関、各国の政府、マスコミは気候変動を危機と喧伝し、教育やメディアを通して還元、理事レイクを用いて社会や個人に押し付けています。左翼の気候変動に対するスタンスは一層ラディカルに、一層協情的になっています。これらは国家主権への干渉であり、独立精神を損なうものです。また、子どもたちや若者にとっても悲劇であると言えるでしょう。この動画では、スカイニュースオーストラリアのキャスターであるアラン・ジョーンズが保守派の立場からようやく解説しています。ご覧ください。
I must be missing something because every single thing that happens today is climate change. Kids in schools are being brainwashed. Parents don't seem willing to strike back. Universities fill the heads of their students with global warming rubbish. The corporate world is virtually exercising a form of blackmail. Superannuation funds say if this particular corporation or that particular corporation doesn't have a climate change strategy, we won't invest. Banks say we won't provide funding for a coal-fired power station. Everything's climate change. The floods in England are climate change. The tornadoes in America are climate change. The bushfires are climate change. Yet you've got people like the Greens elected to Parliament on a handful of votes promoting the same nonsense. The Greens leader, Richard Di Natale, has said the nation's emissions policy has caused catastrophic bushfires. Senator Jordan Steele-John from WA, a young fellow, said the major parties were, quote, no better than a bunch of arsonists. And that Adam Bant said of Senator Steele-Young, as I said, who's quite young, that he was, quote, part of a generation that's terrified and aghast with what they're seeing with the climate crisis. Well, it is we who should be terrified and aghast that people of such intellectual dishonesty are in the national parliament. This stuff is damaging, it's dangerous, and it's everywhere. We're in a cultural war. Climate change is the new religion. There should be a royal commission into climate change. Let these people stand in the witness box and on oath profess and justify the rubbish with which they are manipulating the minds of young people. And young people are worried, frightened, terrified that we're ruining their future. None of these people, not one, can define climate change other than to talk about carbon emissions. They're not carbon emissions at all. Carbon's a chemical element. It exists in things like diamonds and graphite. Carbon is in carbon dioxide, so they mean carbon dioxide emissions. And the burning of coal releases carbon dioxide. So, I might add, do the bushfires. So they must mean that carbon dioxide's a problem. And the world as we know it will end if we don't do something about it. Hang on. Carbon dioxide is 0.04% of the atmosphere. That is over the whole world. Human beings create only 3% of that 0.04% over the whole world. And Australia, human beings, manufacturers, cows breaking wind, bushfires, are responsible for 1.3% of the 3% of the 0.04%. Is anyone seriously suggesting that we should stand the economy on its head, force up energy prices, damage business, jeopardise employment because 0.04% of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide and coal produces carbon dioxide? Where is there a political leader who'll stand in the public place and say this is unadulterated rubbish and we are damaging our children? Forget the economy. Forget the fact that energy prices will go through the roof if we rely solely on renewable energy. I'm worried about our kids. They're being fed this garbage from kindergarten to primary school to secondary school to university, in the media, in business, in politics. It's a disease. And it seems to have us by the throat. Angela Merkel in Germany has approved an $88 billion spending package, a carbon pricing scheme. I think she means carbon dioxide. Germany are going to tax flying to make it more expensive. So you'll have to catch a train rather than an aeroplane. There'll be incentives to buy electric cars, even though the method of generating the electricity may well be dearer and produce more emissions than petrol-powered vehicles. There'll be tax breaks for train tickets. But the Greens in Germany have said not enough. Quote, you've failed in humanity's task of protecting the climate. We have a serious crisis on our hands worldwide. We are feeding our young people with dishonesty. These people can't define climate change. They can't define what's causing it, if it is existing. And the climate's always changed. They talk about carbon emissions when actually they mean carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is 0.04% of the world's atmosphere. and economies everywhere are being stood on their head. If we genuinely want to fight for the future of our kids, we're going to have to fight against this intellectual rubbish. And it appears that only a few of us are prepared to step into the ring.